Hey, just dropping in to say that this is a teaser of our very first Patreon episode. On Patreon, we're going to bring you some super fun bonus content that's not substantive in any way, just me and Zach talking about legal movies and TV shows and whatever else we want, and sometimes with some special guests. If you want access to the full episode, head over to patreon.com/legallistening. We appreciate all the support from our patrons, as it goes to helping us expand the project and provide more substantive-free content, which will always be 100% open access and free. We hope you enjoy our discussion of 12 Angry Men, a 1957 film by Sidney Lumet. Enjoy!
I do love, though, like one of my other fun takeaways was at the beginning. So we have like there's one sort of very senior juror who's elderly. He's, played as elderly. And then there's two, I would say, like, middle-aged jurors, and one is Ed Begley, who's Ed Begley Jr.'s dad, actually, in real life. There's lots of, like, people I know now as being famous. Their dads are all in this movie. Same with, like, Jane Fonda's, Henry Fonda's daughter, and they actually sound alike, and it's weird.
Incredible.
Yeah. She said, like, he was talking, and I was like, dude, his daughter sounds so much like him. This is weird. And then the other one is Lee Cobb, or the two sort of middle-aged guys. And at one point, he's just like, it's the kids, it's these kids, it's the way they are nowadays. And they're just like, they make like a kids today sentiment.
They do.
And it was so funny, right? Because it's like the people in that room are either of the silent generation, so were born between 28 and 45, or they were the greatest generation, born between 01 and 27, right? So like the kids they're talking about are boomers. Like they're literally talking about boomers. Yeah. There's like kids these days are terrible, and I found that hysterical. Because it's just like time is a flat circle.
Yes, it is. And I was going to say that too, because there's a lot of things that they talk about in this movie that we see recycled today, which again, the kids, because the juror member goes, back in my day, kids used to call their dad sir. And like, I fought my kid when he was 18. Like I've heard these things before, like today, like parents being like, kids are disrespectful now. They don't respect their elders. It's the same stuff. And then another one that I picked up on that was interesting was the discussion on race, which I find to be very interesting for a film from 1957. Like putting this film where it was, very interesting. And the discussion of poverty as well. Yeah. Because at one point, they go, this kid grew up in the slums. He's a bad kid because he grew up in the slums because he's impoverished. He never had anything good. His dad was a drunk. So obviously all people from the slums are bad. And one juror member stands up and is like, I was raised in the slums. I'm not a bad person. And then you kind of watch that argument like implode on itself and how dangerous it can be to rely on like your anecdotal experience or your perception of a group based on, I'll say in this case, being raised in the slums and the way the movie describes it.
Well, and the best part is right after that happens and the guy is just like, stop saying stuff like that. Like, I grew up in that community, blah, 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 blah. And then he says, he didn't mean you. Don't be so sensitive. And I was just like, this could be a tweet now. Like, that is things I have seen on twitter.com today. Time is a flat circle. And, like, obviously, we have to put the movie within the sort of context in which it was made. So, like, obviously all the jurors are white or, like, white passing, and they're all men, again, given the time. And they do get into, I'm not going to say, like, this doesn't get into race directly like a movie like Guess Who's Coming to Dinner would.
Right.
I would say it gets into more, like, xenophobic attitudes in that. Because, like, Lee Cobb, who apparently, according to Wikipedia, was playing old men characters when he was 26 because he just looked 57 from age.
He just has an old man face. That's unfortunate.
He literally just looked like he was 57 from age 25 to when he died. Like he looked the same age. He says a lot of very xenophobic things, like repeatedly. And then we sort of learn as the movie goes on, because, he keeps getting the other jurors push back a lot, right, on a lot of the stuff he's saying, and increasingly as the movie goes on. And then at the end, you sort of learn that, like, he's not actually, not that he doesn't necessarily believe these things, he might very well believe these things, but that, like, sort of the source of his actual upset is that he has a completely strained relationship with his kid, who is the age of the kid who has been charged. So, like, a lot of this, like, you're ungrateful, they don't appreciate what I've done, they do for them, blah, 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 blah. A lot of it is literally just like his projecting what is happening in his life onto the situation, which we see happen over and over again with the different jurors, right, in various ways, right?